like to say your name and where you're calling from if you come on the call?
Hi Duncan, it's Sean in Norway. How you doing?
Sean, how are you?
I'm fine. Can you just mention to the people in the room that we do have a chat? I'm trying to get hold of Lucy, but
to receive funds.
Yeah, there is a chat at the bottom of your screen. You'll see an orange box
right now.
Type in there.
50/50 crowdfunding is the world's first peer-to-peer, fully automated cooperative crowdfunding system where you always receive 50%. 50/50 is the
so if you just want to say your name and where you're calling from, if you come on.
And receiver.
Hi Duncan, Eugene, South Africa.
Hi Eugene, how are you?
Awesome, thanks. How are you?
That includes
Good, fantastic.
personalized real-time.
Hi, Duncan. Nick, how are you?
Personalized
Hi,
tools
are you well?
and
Good, yeah.
support.
Good, not down
A
with the
one-time out-of-pocket donation gets you started and allows you to raise all the funds you want for any purpose. And
Hi Alan, how are you?
50%
Not bad, very
from
good.
all the
Good,
funds
good,
donated by
Hi,
the people you
Duncan.
invite. And here's the best part.
Good evening,
You
how are you?
receive 50%
It's Lucy from
every
Australia.
donation in
Hi,
your
Lucy.
one-of-a-kind
Good to have you on the call.
2x2 Follow Me
Thank
Matrix
you.
forever.
I made it.
No middleman.
Pardon?
No waiting.
I made it. I'm normally sleeping and uploaded it.
I thought you said you were married.
Help put funds in your
No, no, no.
immediately.
No, Mary. Can't
Our
afford it.
system has a 15-year.
Hi Duncan, Nigel, Chester.
Hi Nigel, how are you?
Systems have
Good, thanks,
already
you.
helped well over 600,000
All right,
people.
all right.
When you use
Hi,
50/50,
Duncan,
funds are
Dal.
raised cooperatively
Hi,
from
Carol.
around the
Good to have you on the
world.
call.
And there are
Coming in.
multiple donation
20,000
levels
on
for
them.
you to receive
Hi,
from
Duncan, Mel from Taunton.
simultaneously.
Hi,
Here's
Mel.
another great point. 100% of all
Hamid weekend,
donations go
everybody
to
can hear
you
you, just so
and
you
your
know.
team. You can raise all the
I'll
funds
mute
you want
myself.
with no limits. No
Okay,
limits to
thanks.
the amount you raised and
Hi,
no
it's
time
Darlene in
limits.
Florida.
Here's another awesome
Hi,
point.
Darlene.
You can receive
Hi
your
there.
donations in either dollars or bitcoins.
Everyone,
And
say hello to
the
Mr.
absolute
Farha
best
from,
part is
from London.
we
Hello,
offer
Mr.
a
Farhad.
global
Hello.
donation
Good to have you on the call.
Imagine you will receive 50% over and over again.
Just going to wait a few more minutes, a few more people come on. People seem to come on
200
a
or
little bit late.
2,000 people. You can invite as many as you like.
Duncan,
and
I've got a
will
question for you.
always get
Can you
half.
keep the
To get
questions
the most
until
out of
later,
50/50
if you don't mind?
And keep receiving
Just-
from now
just
until forever.
Keep the question, because that's what we want,
Simple,
people asking questions.
doable
But let me go through the
steps to massive
presentation first, and then
success.
you can ask
Step
questions
1.
after, if you don't mind.
Register and become
Thanks a
an
lot.
active donor.
Hello,
Step
Duncan.
2.
Hello, everyone.
Help 2.
My name is Andres. I'm from
Become
Wolverhampton.
active donors.
From
And
Wolverhampton.
step 3.
Hi, Andres.
Yes.
Good to have you on
Help
the call.
2 or more each get 2 or more active donors. That's it. Just 2 who get 2.
Hi, Colin. How are you,
That
mate?
completes
I'm fantastic,
your
mate.
matrix.
Trying to get better.
Then,
Speak to you more times than Softnick.
You're re-entered to receive again without additional effort or
Hi, good evening. My name is Mary
and
from
that
Bedfordshire.
happens because of the
Hi, Mary. Good to have you on the call.
only Mobius loop, which is proprietary
Is there any new people
to
on tonight?
50/50. And what that
Yes,
does,
I'm
that
new.
always
Oh, good to have you on
ensures
the
that
call,
you
Mary.
remain with your team. You
Good evening,
follow
everybody.
your
If you
inviter,
just want to
and
say your name
team
and let
follows
everybody know where
you.
you're calling from
In
as you come on the call.
50/50, there are no boards, no splits, and you always stay with your
Just
team.
so everybody knows, I'll
In
say it
other
there
systems,
is
you
a
have
chat
to wait
box
and
where you
wait,
can type messages
and
if you
nothing
want,
happens.
or if you
But in
want to, you can
50/50, we
unmute
are
yourself.
peer-to-peer,
The
which means
microphone is
there
on the
no
bottom of the
middleman
screen.
and no waiting
Hold your
for your
cursor, it
matrix
will
to fill.
disappear sometimes,
Just
so
2
hold your cursor
donations
down at the
and
bottom
you
of the
are
screen.
even
You'll see a chat room,
forever.
and you'll also
Watch
see
this.
the microphone
You
and the video if you want the
invite
video
one
on or
and
off.
immediately receive 50%.
Okay, I'm going to mute everybody for a few minutes, and I'm just going to share my screen. Just bear with me a second. I'll just mute everybody first.
Good evening. Did you be?
Good evening. Okay, you should all be on mute now, and I'm just going to share my screen. Let me just... And if somebody could just tell me whether you can see this screen. 1 second, let me just put it
You
on.
can see the screen, you just put it
see it,
enlarging
yeah.
it.
Great. Okay. Right, I'd like to welcome everybody. My name's Duncan Wood. I live in North Wales. I've been involved in 50/50 for literally just over a month. It literally just took me by storm. I've never seen anything quite like this. It's incredible, and it didn't work out well. So don't be put off if you have. But just to give you an example, I looked on the internet today. If you type in crowdfunding into Google, and you will see on there a list of top 8 companies in the world right now. One of them is Kickstarter, one is Indiegogo, GoFundMe, UCaring, Crowd Supply, Crowdfunder, Experiment, and Chuffed. And they're the top 8 companies in the world right now. Now, one of the companies that's also getting involved is also Facebook as well. If you look on Facebook now, you can see that Facebook are also advertising crowdfunding. So it is a growing industry. It's actually growing in the world right now by 80%. So what is 50/50 and why is it different than most companies out there? The reason is a few points. Why can't I change those slides? Just bear with me a second. Okay. Okay, so 50/50 crowdfunding is the world's first crowdfunding system that allows you to receive half of everything that happens in your donation centers forever. It's based on a world famous Mobius loop, and this is one of the key points. You might not fully understand it, but I'll explain it a little bit more. And also the System G technology, which is one of the most advanced, successful 2x2 following me donation centers in history. 50/50 is a team crowdfunding system that provides help from above and below. You can also receive donations literally seconds after registering. So it's not based on just your efforts, it's based on people above you, people you introduced, and your own efforts. So it's a group team effort. 50/50 is a peer-to-peer crowdfunding, and this is one of the key points when I first saw this, is I'm fed up of being let down by company after company that have my money and other people's money, and things go wrong. It might be they've overstated and underdelivered. It might be due to bad management. Sometimes it's the payment processes that are in between the company, you and them, and they have our money, and that's been a major problem, especially for people in this last year. Well, one of the key points about 50/50 is are sent to you directly to your bank account or whichever method you choose to receive them, and it literally can happen in minutes of you starting. So 50/50 provides you with an easy to navigate, totally automated dashboard that displays everything in real time and allows you to monitor your donations literally second by second. Sorry, I don't know why this is playing up tonight. For some reason, I can't change the slides. Okay, so how do you get started? It takes 3 simple steps. The first thing is you need to click the link from your sponsor, and the only payment you make to the company is a fee of $29, which is a license fee. It's paid once every 6 months, and that is, as I said, the only funds that ever go to the company. All the donations are direct from person to person. So to become an active donor, the first thing you need to do is to donate. Now, you need to donate 50% to your sponsor and 50% to a person that you will drop under in a matrix which has 6 people or 6 positions in it. Once you've done that, you are active, and once you've done that, you're also able to then provide the payment options that you wish to receive donations to. So the whole system is, first of all, you donate, then you share, and you receive. And it is literally as simple as that. If you want to stop, you just stop donating. If you want to continue receiving, then you just keep continually donating, and you will receive. So basically, once you've sent your donations, the goal is to introduce 2 people. That is the minimum. You can introduce as many as you want, but basically each matrix dependent on the levels, I'll go through those in a second, is exactly the same. There's just 6 positions, 2 positions directly below you and 2 below those 2. So your goal is to help 2 people become active donors. Once they have donated like you did, then they become active, and then the goal is to help those 2 do exactly the same. It is literally no more complicated than that. It is so simple. It does take a little bit to understand the benefits of introducing. Believe you me, that Mobius loop is the key to this system, and the fact that the payments are made direct from person to person. So that's it. That is a matrix, just you 2 positions below and 4 positions below those 2 each. Those positions could be filled by above from people you've introduced, so the 2 you personally introduced, or by yourself. So it's a mixture of both. Now, 50-50, as it says, 50% of the donation goes to your sponsor and 50% goes to a person that you will drop under automatically. So nobody controls it, nobody can fiddle it, nobody can stack people, all that kind of stuff that goes on in some businesses. And there are actually 5, the 250, the 500, or most people want to achieve all 5. You can, if you want to, choose to start all 5 at one time. Completely self-funding system that you can use some of the donations you receive to upgrade yourself to each one of these 5 receiving centers or donation centers. So the first level is the 250 level. Once you've donated, you now are in a position to receive a total of 6 donations, 6 times 125 each time somebody sends you a donation. So that equals 750 minus the 250, you're 500 up. You can do that once, twice, 3 times, as many times as you want. It is literally up to each individual. They can just carry on receiving as long as they keep donating. Each time you finish a cycle, you are in a position to start a new matrix. It doesn't necessarily mean to say that you have to introduce new people to fill that matrix. It can be the same people that you've introduced because they are with you right the way through. So if you want to at any point, you can increase your donation or your receiving centers. So you'd have the 250 and the 500. At the 500 level, you receive again a total of 6 donations at 250 each. That's 1,500. And remember, on top of that, you'd also be receiving the 125 at the 250 level. And so it goes on. You can then increase it to the next level. Don't know why, but I'm having issues with the slides tonight. Don't know what's going on. Okay, so then there's level 3, which is the 1,000 level. You receive a total of 6 donations on this level at 500 each. Times that by 6 is 3,000. Level 4 is the 2,000 level. Again, 6 donations of 2,000 each. So a total of 12,000 in total. And that you literally upgrade as you start receiving. It's really as simple as that. So let's just take the 250 level. There's you introduce your first person. That first person sends 125 to you and 125 to your sponsor, and you and the second person introduces their first person, 125 comes to you, goes to them, above 750, and that is then what's called cycled. It is, and you can donate and start again, and the same system happens right the way through the whole 5 donations or receiving centers. So I hope that kind of helps for anybody that's new on the call tonight. There's probably a few questions you've got. I mean, I did list, this is nothing new. This has been going on for thousands of years, but what's happening now because of technology and the internet, and because of what's happening in the world with regards to the banks who are letting everybody down, it is not difficult to understand that people are struggling because of the banking system. In fact, there's a British TV program about to come out where we bailed out the banks, and the banks paid the public back by increasing interest rates. And you'll see there's a program on I think it's on BBC coming on soon, where we've just had one of the worst banking crises in history, and believe it or not, it's going to happen again, because the banks are still doing what they've done for a long time, which is basically scamming people. It's about time justice was set in. And crowdfunding is just a simple way of an alternative way of generating revenue for whatever reason you want. So we're not the only company doing it. It's just most people have not heard of it or don't understand it. So it is a questions and answers call. So if you want to unmute yourself, if you have a question, please fire away. We take questions, but just while we're there, Sean, is there anybody that's asked anything so far in the chat room? You're on mute, Sean, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Duncan. I'm just trying to get through to Lucy. She can't find the chat on the room. That's the only question I've got at the moment. Okay. Again, Lucy, you can hear us. You did talk, so you know how to mute your mic. If you just move
screen, and you can see there's chat, and there's also start video and mute, or the microphone to mute or unmute yourself. Anybody else that's listening. Hi, Mel. Did you have a question?
Hi, Duncan. Yes, I have, please. My question is, if say Joe registers tomorrow, yes. They pay their $29 admin fee. Yes. They tick the 250 receiving donation center. If they also go for the 500, which I understand they can do that at the same time if they wish.
Yes, they can, yeah.
When they donate their 2 125s, but do they also at the same time have to donate the 500, the 250s as well?
Yes, they do. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so they need to be aware then that if they tick the 500 as well, they have to have the money to be able to donate the 250s, yeah?
Yeah, and that's what we recommend everybody. If you're introducing anybody, remember you are committing to, it's your responsibility to make sure that they have the money available to donate straight away, at least within a few hours or a reasonable time. One thing that happens if you don't donate, or somebody doesn't donate, after a period of time, let's say a day, maybe 2 days, if that person has been contacted by email or somebody has tried to phone them and they still haven't donated or they haven't replied back, they will be suspended. It is a fair system. Just so you know, if they are suspended for whatever reason, they are allowed back in as long as they donate again. The whole system works on, first you have to pay the 29, then you pay you donate to the 2 people, and once you've donated, you're then able to go into your back office and put in the methods of that you wish to receive donations to you. And just to give you an example, there is a lady, Julie Templeton, who introduced a friend of hers, and she did actually make a mistake by clicking. It was actually Julie, but it was a mistake. But she clicked all 3, the 250, the 500, and the 1,000. Now, here's what happened. She did actually pay the donation, or started to pay the first donations, but then realized she made a mistake. Now, the crazy thing is, people were then trying to send her the donations, and she was trying to cancel them by sending them back to people. Well, I ended up intervening and made her understand or realize that, why are you trying to send the donations back? If you accepted them, you'd have the money immediately back in your pocket that you've just outlaid. If you think about it, it's so logical. Listen, I've found every time I've upgraded, literally within a day, a couple of days at the most, you literally receive donations for the amount that you've just outlaid, and everything after that is profit, if you want to call it that. It is actually classed as donation, so it's not profit, but that's how it works. So I hope that helps, Mel.
Yeah, thank you, Duncan. That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
Duncan, I've got a message from Dermot. When I Google my 50/50 page, it comes up not known, yet it works on the link.
Yeah, that's
from my Facebook profile. Any techies here?
That's because you haven't put HTTPS in front of it. Yeah, you have to make it a live link.
Yeah. Okay, Lucy, thank you for getting into the chat. She didn't have her audio on, so she hasn't heard anything. So, but she's got it on now. So,
okay, good.
Welcome, Lucy.
Anybody else got any questions they'd like to ask? No. I will let me.
Can I ask a question, mate?
Yeah. Can I ask? Can I have friends and family if I can't answer it?
Of course you can. Is this an easy business to do compared to multi-level marketing?
It is absolutely simple. The problem is people complicate it. That's the problem. You hear people say, well, I need to understand it first before I speak to anybody. It's actually, people become more dangerous the more they understand, because what people think they have to do in this business is explain it to people. I don't know who that is, but if I can just mute everybody, because there's interference going on. Okay. Yes, it is such a simple business. Don't try and explain it to somebody. If somebody asks you what are you doing, just answer them something like, I help people make money, some serious money. Do you know anybody? There's some real bad interference coming on here. Teddy, I think it's you who. Yes, it is. Okay. So keep it really simple. All I do is I ask people a third-party question. I don't ask anybody directly. I just, during the conversation, drop in something like, listen, you might be able to help me. I'm looking for people who want to make some serious money. Do you know anybody? And I wait for an answer. Do not say anything. Wait for them to speak first, because they only come back with two answers. One is, I might be interested. And the other might be, I can't think of anybody. Well, if they say I can't think of anybody, that tells you straight away that person isn't interested in making some extra serious money right now. It doesn't mean to say they won't be interested in the future. But if somebody says to you, well, I might be interested, what is it? All I say to them is, give me your email and I'm sending you a video. I even do it when I'm out, I'm about. I was out today, I went to buy some petrol. As I walked into the petrol station, I said to the guy that just served me, who gave me a nice smile as I walked in, I said, listen, you might be able to help me. I'm not from round here, but do you know anybody who wants to make some serious money? I'm looking for people. And you know what he said to me? What is it? And I just handed him my card and said, there's my card, give me a call. Now, if he calls me, this is all I will say. He might call, he might not. A lot don't, but I'm testing him to see if he is serious about making some serious money. If he did call, he'd probably say, hi, it's John here. Do you remember you came into my garage and gave me a card? And I'll say, yes. And he'll say to me, can you tell me what this business is about? And all I'll say is, give me your email address. I'm going to send you a video. Now, the most important thing is the follow-up. This is the really important bit. First of all, you're testing a person again to see whether they'll even watch an 8-minute video. I don't know about you, but the amount of people I phone up and I ask them a question, tell me, did you receive my email? Have you watched the video? It's only 8 minutes long and people say, I haven't had time. Well, I don't know about you, but I haven't got time to waste on people trying to explain a business who can't spend 8 minutes of their time watching a video. This is what I say if they reply back. I just say, listen, I haven't got time to chase you. If you're serious, like you said you were, watch that video and you call me. Take it away from them. That's what I do. Now, if they have watched the video, the next thing to do is to ask them one question. Do you want to know more? And if they do, what do you do with them? Well, this is a perfect place to bring them, this webinar. And these are run 3 times a day in the UK. 11 o'clock in the morning done by Colin. I do them at 8 o'clock most days. I sometimes can't do them at the weekend, but put it this way, everybody's got to have one day off sometime. And Ray Sinclair also does them now 5 days a week, 11 o'clock at night. That's for people that maybe can't make the 8 o'clock call, or people in America. So there's literally no excuse. You've just got to plug people into a system. We've got a system here like the Facebook group that you can plug people into. And it's like anything, don't do the talking yourself. Let other people do the talking for you. Then they start believing what you might say. I mean, the only time you start speaking to somebody is when they've watched the video and then they ask questions. And people asking questions tells me one thing: they're interested to find out more. That's it. And don't be worried if people ask negative questions. Like, as an example, somebody said to me, it's crowdfunding's illegal. I would just advise, agree with them, say, yeah, I thought it was, but let me show you a solicitor from a lawyer that proves it's totally legal in every country and not illegal. That's all you need to do. Agree with them. Don't end up in an argument with a friend or somebody that you're speaking to. You just got to agree with them. Say, I know how you feel. I felt the same, but let me tell you what I found out. It's like people that say, you know, how long is it going to last? I don't know whether you know, but the owner of this company has been doing a similar system for nearly 16, well, it's over 16 years now. That company is still running to this day. He sold it out, and he created this one because he wanted to add 2 special features that were different and unique from any other crowdfunding system. One is the 50-50, and 2 is that Mobius loop. And that Mobius loop basically means that people you personally introduce follow you through every level, right the way through the plan for life. So that means, in theory, if you introduce 6 people, every time those people pop back into your matrix, even if it's a new one, you don't have to introduce anybody. They will come back in as long as they're active, obviously. Now, if you really want to make sure, just introduce a few more. But the minimum is 2. If you help those 2, introduce 2, you'll have 4, and so on. Anybody else got any questions? If you want to unmute yourself, fire away.
Just had one question from Wilson. He said, how can we get hold of the PowerPoint? I asked him either to go to the 50-50 room or contact Duncan.
Yeah, we can post that, or somebody can, if you're on Skype, we can post it on Skype, because there's not too many slides there. You're talking about the short presentation I do before I start this presentation, are you?
I should imagine he's talking about the PowerPoint presentation, what you did tonight.
Yeah.
It's in the 50-50 Buddies Facebook room.
It is actually, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put it today, I think.
Okay, Wilson, if you got that, it is already in the 50-50. Maybe look under the files or look around in there. It should be there somewhere.
I just want to...
Duncan, I have a question.
Yeah, go on, Nigel.
What do you say to people then that they've seen the video, they like it, and they've got the $29, fine, but they say, you know what, I can't join because I haven't got the $250 at the moment.
Okay, well, there's a test, another test to challenge people, because everybody says they haven't got the money. Listen, we've all got stuff that we don't need. You know what I'm talking about. If you really want to, you will find that money. You can go and borrow it from your family to get started. If that really is a signal to find out whether somebody's serious or are they just playing around. Because loads of people say they want to make money, but then the amount of people that take action and actually do it, and we'll talk more about this in a second. If you really want something, you will listen. I've just gone through a very difficult year, and I needed to raise capital just to keep going. Now, I've never run a car boot sale, but I did one. Why? Because I'm looking around and I've got stuff that I've bought that I don't really need, and stuff that you think, God, we should get rid of that. And you can go and sell it. You can do something to raise money. You can go and work some extra hours if you really want to. So my advice is, don't, there's a saying, you give a man a fish, you'll feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, you'll feed him for life. So, don't go and, it sounds nice to go and pay for somebody to get started. But to be honest with you, I've learned that lesson in the past. The people I've given the money to get them started for free, do you know what they did? Absolutely nothing. because in the end, it's your money, and it makes you appreciate that money. And people need to treat this as a serious business. You should treat it the same way as you would treat a business that you've just put 10 or 20 or 30,000 into, because that's what you'd have to outlay if you wanted to start what I call the traditional business. And that's the problem. People treat it as some part-time little business. Now, just talking about that, one of the mistakes I see people make is they get off onto a reasonably fast start. Some people are a bit slower than others, but the key is consistency. You know, I don't know whether you know the meaning of the word commitment, but commitment basically means, do you know what? Now I've just said that, I've forgotten what. Commitment is doing the thing you said you would do long after the mood you said it in has passed. I'll say it again. Commitment is doing the things you said you would do long after the mood you said it in has passed. And the problem is a lot of people haven't got what I call commitment. You know, if you're going to make some serious money, you need to commit to this business, and you need consistency. I mean, doing it every day. Just imagine if you employed yourself. Ask yourself this question tonight. What have you done to expand your business? And if you haven't done anything productive, and I mean to generate more people, then you need to sack yourself, because that's what I would do if I employed somebody that didn't work. Now, you employ yourself. It's your business. You are responsible for your business. So ask yourself every night, what have you done to expand your business? And if you haven't, you need to look in the mirror, because there's one problem that's stopping you, and it's you. It is simple. It's like anything, you know, it's like people that go on a diet. There's a saying, if you do something consistently for 21 days, it becomes a habit, and then you don't even think about it. Now, what do I mean about consistently doing something? You need to set yourself a target that you're going to speak to so many people a day. My goal is I need to speak to 5 new people every day, and I want to make sure that I'm giving 5 videos out to new people, and I will make sure as well I call them up when I ask them a question. So as an example, Nigel, if I was talking to you, I'd say, Nigel, I'm going to send you an email. There's a video on it. Can I ask you, Nigel, when will you watch that video? Now, let's say Nigel says tomorrow night. Then I will make sure tomorrow night, I will tell Nigel, I'm going to call you tomorrow night after you've watched that video, and I will call him. Now, some people I say, did you call him back? Oh, I forgot to call him. You know, that's not what you need to be doing. You need to make sure to plan and make sure you definitely call that person back when you said you would. And it's literally the follow-up is the most important thing as far as I'm concerned. It's the time that you find out, is this person worth spending my time working with and helping? Because if they can't watch an 8-minute video, why are you going to spend half an hour explaining things to him or her? So I hope that helps.
Thanks, Duncan.
Yeah, I've got a few more questions, Duncan. It's quite funny because when people are on a webinar like this is the time to ask questions.
I know, it gets me.
and what it is, like, I'm going to ask a question for Lucy. And there's also a question here you can answer quick. Who is the owner and where is he from? You can answer that one first.
Okay, I presume he is American. I mean, I've watched various videos. There's some fantastic interviews with the owner. So anybody asking that question, you see, let me give you an example. If somebody's watched the 8-minute video and all you're going to ask them is, do you want some more information? Well, the interview with the owner is a perfect tool to send them after they've watched the 8-minute video, but only send it them when they've watched it. Do not send it with that, because it gives you another tool to send them. Now, on that interview, it's on the Facebook page, it's on the 50/50 chat, but there's an interview with the owner. And on that, he explains why this is totally legal in every country in the world, why it's going to be sustainable for years to come. In fact, he states we'll all be dust before this finishes or even slows down. He also states that he reckons that this is going to be 10 times bigger than the previous company, and the previous company turned over 1 billion revenue and is still running after 16 years with over 660,000 members. So what makes people think that this is going to finish in the next 5 or 10 years? Now, I don't know about you, but I can quite see there's going to be people receiving millions in this, and I mean millions. Now, if you don't quite believe that, well, then you have to start believing that. Now, the only way you will convince yourself, there's no good to somebody else trying to convince you. You have to convince yourself that you are totally in the right place at the right time with the right company, with the right system. And the way you can do that is to keep immersing yourself in everything that you can find about the owner. And the way to do that is go and watch those videos. And that will give you confidence. I did. You know, everybody doubts themselves. When I first spoke to the very first person about this, do you know what he said to me? It's illegal crowdfunding. I nearly believed him. I knew he was wrong, but I needed to confirm to myself. So what did I do? I phoned up a solicitor friend of mine, asked him whether he could look into it. He asked me a question. He said, can you tell me what type of crowdfunding is it? He then came back, and I now know 100% that anybody that says to me that this is illegal or matrix systems are illegal, they're talking utter rubbish.
Duncan, I'll have to stop you. You're, I don't know what's happening, but all we can see is the not the screens. Everybody's gone away, sort of thing. I don't know if you've clicked something or.
I didn't actually. I saw the screen change myself. Can you still hear me all right?
We can still hear you. And I don't know if it's me or now you're back. Now you're back. That's fine, Duncan. But that was quite, Duncan. You spoke for 10 minutes there, and you didn't mention who the owner was. Someone's laughing and saying you think he's American. So it'd be nice to know that.
Well, yes, I'm 100. Listen, I'm not actually asked that question, but there's a question that we will find out. Put it this way, he definitely sounds American, and I'm almost 100% sure he is. It doesn't really matter, as far as I'm concerned, whether he's American or Canadian or Irish. What's the difference? What I look at is what somebody's integrity is, and the reason why he's doing this. Now, that's what people need to go and watch that interview for, because that's what he explains. This guy, can somebody remind me his name? David Rosen is his name. He was homeless once in his life. Now, fortunately, somebody helped him by introducing him to network marketing or multi-level marketing. So that's what he got involved in initially. But then he also realized, like I did, that multi-level marketing has its flaws. The flaw is basically 97% of people fail in multi-level marketing for one reason. The reason why I was trying to explain before is they don't learn how to recruit. And recruiting is easy if people learn. But the problem is they become either unteachable, or they don't listen to the trainings, or they don't put it into practice. It just amazes me, but that's people, I'm afraid. It's like, as an example, the first thing I heard in multi-level marketing, now this is not multi-level marketing, but it's about recruiting. So the first thing is, if you are struggling in recruiting, you need to learn the basics. And the basics is this. First of all, write a list not of people you think would be interested, a list of everybody you've ever known in your life. And then just keep adding to that list, because you meet people every day, so you never throw it away, and you never cross off a name because they at that time said no, or they weren't interested, or whatever the reason. You always keep that name, because people's circumstances change. I don't know what's happening. Can you guys still hear me all right? This screen keeps flashing.
Duncan, I can hear you. You can see you loud and clear.
Okay, so I hope that answers your question. It really doesn't matter what nationality he is, but I'll find out. I'm sure, I'm almost 100% certain he's American. So that's what I would do. Do your own research. Keep asking questions. It's only by asking questions that you get knowledge and you get the right answers. Don't do as a lot of people do, the first thing a lot of people do, and they call this research, is they go online and say, is 50-50 a scam? And then they find one site that says it is, and then they believe it. What they don't understand is most of those sites that are saying it are using the word scam because they know that 95% of the majority of people are negative. So what do they go and do is look for the negative instead of looking at the negative and then thinking, well, hold on, there's thousands of people doing this business and they're all raving about it and they're all receiving donations and they love it. So who's right? The one guy who's got a website that has adverts on and makes money out of it, and that's why he's using that word, because that's what he knows. That's what people will do. That's fine. Go and find it if you want, but then go and look at the other side of the story. The problem is some people go and look at one negative post, and listen, if you want to see what I mean, go and put in to Google, is Mother Teresa a scam? And see what you find. You see, people will say anything about anybody, and it doesn't mean to say it's true. You know, you've all heard on the news now about fake news. Unfortunately, that's the problem with the internet. People can say anything that they want, and unfortunately, some people, in their naivety, go and believe what one person said about somebody or something. So, you know, do your due diligence properly. Go and speak to a solicitor or go and speak to people who are actually in the business and understand it and know the facts about it. That's what this call is about. As you said, what amazes me is people come on a questions and answers call and I ask, does anybody have any questions? And then it goes silent.
Yeah, Lucy, for example, she's sent a video to, well, I should imagine she sent the information and came straight back. It looks like hype.
That's like hype. What does that mean?
We'll have to ask Lucy about that one.
Yeah. I mean, it's like somebody that says, you know, it looks like a pyramid. Well, every business is a pyramid. Every business. The church is a pyramid. The banking system is a pyramid. The governments are pyramids. What does somebody mean by that? That's what you need to ask. Well, what do you mean it's a pyramid? Do they mean it's a legal pyramid? Because there are illegal pyramids, but this isn't a pyramid and this isn't illegal. It's just crazy, but that's people. I'm afraid that's the hard thing about this business is you're dealing with people and they come out with often statements. Yes. Hi, Robert. Yes, Robert. Yes, Robert. Hello, Robert. Yeah, yes, Robert. Toronto, Canada. Okay, there we are. Okay, there's the answer. Canadian. Okay, brilliant. There we are. Okay, that's good. Thank you, Robert. Okay, thank you, Robert.
And also, Duncan, one of my very good friend, I know him very well. He is part of another network, and he confirmed that is his best friend, and he is from Canada.
Good. Okay, there we are. You learn something new every day. Good. Okay, guys, thanks a lot. Any other questions before we finish for the night? Now's your chance. Unmute yourself if you want to ask a question.
Light corner, light.
Sorry, say that again, please. Hello? Any other questions? Okay, well, thanks very much for everybody coming on the call. We will have another call tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. This call will be at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. My advice is go and speak to people and invite people onto this call after they've watched that 8-minute video. Thanks for your attention, everybody. Thanks for coming on the call.
Duncan?
Yes.
Duncan? I'm sorry, mate. It's somebody's here. Just obviously asking for the second time, just in the last minute. It's saying that how do you stay active? And are these meetings on the website? Two different questions, two different people.
Okay. How do you stay active? Well, you stay active by donating. Simple as that. So let me give you an example. If you have filled or people have dropped in and filled the 6 spots on any one of the matrices, at that point, you can start it again if you want. And how do you do that? You have to donate again. So, you know, when people say to me about, well, this is going to run dry, because what in their mind, this is what they think. They think it's like a Ponzi is, that it's supplied with new people coming in, donating. No, it's not. It is no different than if you have a very good business and you look after your customers. Hopefully you won't need to go out and find new customers. Why? Because your existing customers will keep buying off you. Well, in this business, if people like what they're receiving and they want to keep it coming in, then they will just keep donating and they'll keep receiving. So it will just keep on going. And that's not, never mind any new people coming in, doesn't need it. You keep donating, you keep receiving. It's as simple as that. So that's how you stay active. And then what was the other question?
No, it was just, are these meetings on the website?
Yes.
I just wonder if Esther means, are they in the 50-50 room?
They're in, we post them in every room. And if I were you, if you have a group or a team, I would also email them. The problem is nowadays there's too many ways of communicating. So it does kind of get a bit mad sometimes because we post them everywhere. But the problem is people don't look for them. Sometimes you have to, it's like Facebook. I put a post up in the morning, I go there a few hours later and it's just gone down to the bottom. So, you know, you just have to search a little bit, that's all. But they are posted every day. Okay.
Okay, Duncan, no questions.
Thanks for helping out, Sean, and thank you, everybody. And we hope to see you on either the 11 o'clock morning call or the 8 o'clock one tomorrow, or there's one later on tonight in, 3 hours time? No, sorry, 2 hours time. 11 o'clock, 11 p.m. UK time. And that is specifically for anybody in America or Canada. So if you know people in those countries, send them the video and then invite them onto those calls. Thanks very much for listening, everybody. And I'll open the mic up if anybody wants to. Yes, Robert. Yes, I've just posted it. It's now on the Facebook group. It's on the 50-50 chat. Go and have a look. It's on events. So if you go and look at events, you'll see it posted there. Okay, good thing. Good for pointing that out. Just so everybody knows what the Super Saturday is. It is going to be calls from Canada. They'll be in most languages. You can see all the languages there. So if you know anybody anywhere in the world who maybe wants a call in their language so they can understand it maybe a little bit better, then now is your opportunity. That's why it's so important when I say to people, you need to write a list, because what happens is people forget who they know. And then what happens is suddenly you see that person in the business and you are kicking yourself because somebody else thought of them and they contacted them and sent the video. And the next minute you're kicking yourself because you didn't remember that person you knew. So my advice is spend time writing your list, because you will meet somebody on this call or in this business soon that you knew, but you didn't call them because you'd forgotten about them. The list is without doubt the most important thing you will ever do. Unfortunately, most people never do it. And then they wonder why some people succeed and you don't. The reason is you need to take action, and you need to take consistent action every day. Every day. It's your business. You know, as I said to you, if you look in the mirror tonight and ask yourself a question, would you employ yourself? That is the question you need to ask yourself. And if you wouldn't employ yourself, sack yourself. Okay, thanks very much, everybody. See you all hopefully tomorrow night. Thanks, everybody, and speak again.
Yeah, thanks, Duncan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Duncan.
Bye. Thanks, darling.
Bye-bye.
Good night now.